Hey, how's it going? I'm just compiling a couple things right now. I'm going to be showing you guys a little bit of NLP tonight, towards the end. But go ahead, kind of just go around and we'll just wait for some people to come and join in.
Just been messing around with HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap. So, because I'm working with Carlos, and he's like doing like the Twitter connecting. Because I don't know, I couldn't figure that out. So, yeah, that's what I've been working on. And then he's gonna show me that, and then gonna kind of like combine our stuff.
Here, I got into a little thing on the
Yeah.
hired channel. Someone back me up on this. I guess, crap, I don't have that picture.
Yeah, I was gonna put my projects here. So this is Twit off, and then he has a soccer project, and I have my chess project, and so forth. So that's what I've been doing.
It's awesome.
How do you guys like this week so far, though? Pretty, I don't like saying the word easy, but what do you say is pretty entertaining or interesting?
I think it's pretty interesting, but I was lucky enough to work with a templating program, like a long time ago, but still was all basically the same. So that was pretty natural to make up the templates for this.
Oh, you talking about for the website?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Does anyone here? I know Mark does. He's on here, but because he's been through the program before. Um, does anyone actually have web developer experience? Personally, I don't, but I was just curious.
I did a lot of tutorials,
Yeah,
before I started.
not seriously. Like I never did like a site with a login.
Yeah, that's actually what I know how to. Well, I just learned all of that yesterday and today with like the sign in, login, passwords, and then like all the connecting the different like because I have the drop down on mine and it connects to the other stuff. Um, so yeah, I've been spending a lot of time on that, and then Carlos, who I've been working with, has been working on the other stuff, and then we just like go back and forth with the different things.
Yeah, I do work on the web application before using Java JS. It's not JavaScript. It's a Java library. The front end. Yeah, I it's kind of get the same feel. I mean, like this one is a lot of messy things. A lot of loose ends in tied together. So yeah, this is I think this is a good project. We really got a good feel of the challenges when you work with applications. A lot of loose end, a lot of unexpected error here and there, and just got to keep track of all the detail because a lot of variable name, all these things. Because when you work with the web applications, there's no longer type enforcing, so it's easy to make error. You had all different names, and and you got to know the object that you get. That you pass around throughout the applications. You got to know what field that you want to work on. And usually the thumb rule is you pass the object around. You don't want to pass the parameter because the object encapsulate all the attributes of um, related to the model objects. So you pass it around. So yeah, this project that Aaron introduced to us is standard. Productions code, I guess, a production template. So yeah, it's good.
That's good. So I'm just curious to you guys personally, if you don't mind sharing, like, where do you see yourself in like a couple years down the road when you kind of get the hang of, you have this intuition for, what you want, what models you need to do once you figure that out? Because that's like the biggest part of being a data scientist, I'd say, besides pre-processing, of course. But where do you guys see yourself? Do you see yourself as a more technical role down the road, or you like analyzing?
Analyzing
Well,
for me, and maintaining data seems pretty fun, like building the like for like data cleaning, if you have like a continuous stream of data to kind of automate those certain cleaning processes, or when like new data type comes in, like fixing that process, and then analyzing it, like the exploratory data analysis and such. I like that.
yeah, actually, the way I felt it is each field, like applications, working on application is kind of specialized in itself, kind of different from a data science analytical task, and same thing with data cleaning, DBA, whatever. So it's a very involved field. It's not likely that when we go to work in a job, we're going to hit all of them most of the time. Usually, we by work with one application that related to our area, to our specialization, you kind of really get to know the application pretty well, and you're not going to touch on other things. So as far as the question is what we want to do, yeah, I like to stick to data science, analytical, because I think they can get very deep, deeply involved in analyzing all the data, everything, and try to get the correct result, and also the reporting part of it, publications. You can write out the result, what you find, out from your analytical work. So I like to stick to the area. No more application for me. Yeah, kind of curious. What was the direction out of these questions? What that, Brandon? So we can take us from here, from the questions. Is it can lead to the job search or anything, career building?
I will go ahead and tell you when I ask you these questions, I might pass them on to them, but I'm not responsible for that in your career placement. I mainly ask them so you can start thinking about it, because I know firsthand, but when this program ends, it's kind of like pardon my French, but it's kind of like an oh shit moment where you're just kind of like, well, I gotta start looking for jobs now, and getting in that mind frame that you're not going to be in Lambda for too long, and Lambda will be here to help you, but it's good to realize that you will be in the job market. It's very competitive. But I'm going to share my screen and kind of show you where I'm at here, and kind of I'm just troubleshooting, so might as well just share. Let's see. Yeah, I'll just share my whole screen. That's fine. There we go. All right, so here's my Conda, and then here's my Jupyter. I was gonna try to run it through SageMaker, but I wasn't able to get that far. And ideally, I would probably be more prepared if I show this to you tomorrow, but I think it's kind of cool. So this was my capstone project. Basically, we had Amazon review data, and there's a lot of stuff that I need to fix because some of the data I was using was from my group members, and that data no longer exists, so I have to find it. But you can kind of see what I use up here mainly. It's just kind of what you've seen before: NLTK, regex, which is the RE and pandas, NumPy, TensorFlow, and then some individual TensorFlow stuff to actually build a model. And then you import that, And then here is the data set, and to show you what it kind of looks like. And usually I would name it DF, but I guess I was feeling some sort of way that day. Well, not, max rows, something to do with the actual CSV. Let me see if I can, I have it on my Dropbox, so here's what I'm gonna do. Maybe this would do it.
So you develop all this on Jupyter,
Yeah,
on the SageMaker?
I know this is local right now.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah, I
gonna
thought-
do it through SageMaker. I thought that was gonna be cool, but I wasn't able to set it up in time. Hope maybe this will work. And I have a pretty nice desktop, so, but I also wanted to show you Spider, but I definitely just wanted to show you the not everything works here, but just the logic behind it, and what you might have to get into. So it's getting that. And it seems not like it has something to do with the rows. And I think the problem with working in a group, especially I'll tell you now remotely, is your data sets. And I'll show you our actual folder. All these files are not necessarily mine. It's my group. So you can see here's some of the stop words that we decided to use. The WordNet stop words, if it does load.
Someone working in R too.
Yeah, and then I was trying to do it in R to see if I could get a quicker, a different thing. But here's some of the stop words here that we used, and kind of run it through that. But I'm just going to go ahead and not print off the head and just roll with it here. And so what I did is I dropped either an unnamed, dropped a bunch of stuff. How about I just restart the kernel? That would probably be ideal. Restart and clear output. And then I have it through Python demo. It's my Anaconda. Here's my setup. I don't know why if you make a new kernel, it wants you to reinstall a bunch of this stuff. But my main thing is on root. And I have a few of them here. I just have one for R. So I'm going to go ahead and import this. And there we go. And then that's going. And then the data set. And then let me see if I can actually load the data set so you guys can see it. And that's why I like Spider, because you can see all that without having to open up all these tabs. And I can probably show you that, tomorrow or something. I'm trying to show you. Here we go. So here's the CSV file. Here's the categories: names, review, summary, gender. And then here are the reviews, like no sugar, just random stuff. A lot of this is spam. And then their username. And this is pulled from Amazon, grocery review data. And so our task was to decipher if it was a male or a female that was typing this. And you can see here the indexes here.
Somehow I see a blank screen though. I didn't see it. Okay.
Oh, do you not see it?
Yeah.
See it now?
Yeah, okay, see it now, yes.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to
go ahead.
drop that.
I can see it now.
Okay, so here's the head. There we go. And so you can kind of see here's what it looks like. And I'm going to drop, I decided that since it's just looking at reviews, drop names and gender. And then the summary is important too, because you just want to get the keywords down. On Pickle, I really, if you want to look into it, it's cool. It's a way to kind of decompress some files so you can load them quicker. but I never actually ended up using it. So, and then check to see if there's any nulls, and there's not. I'm gonna go ahead and reset the index. I think you can kind of see the shape. So there's a lot of reviews, and then 2 columns. You can get the head here, and here's what it looks like now. And then these are contradictions. So it's something I added in, and I just basically copy and pasted from Stack Overflow. But these are just a bunch of contradictions, like they would be they would. So it doesn't get confused. And then this is a function, clean text, where basically it just turns them to lowercase, and then it uses regex, or however you want to say it, to kind of sort it. And then down here, importantly, it takes the stop words from NLTK, and you can set your own too. That's what I was kind of, if you saw earlier, what we were trying to mess with. But I would go ahead and execute that. And then down here, it will clean the summaries and the text, and it will go through that function. And I did not run this, so there we go. And it might take a bit because there were a lot of them. And that was the main issue with running it in Spider and running it locally, is after a while, if you keep going, all right, so I haven't even downloaded NLTK stop words. So do you guys remember how to download that from the terminal or from Jupyter, the stop words? I think I just do this actually. All right, so download the stop words. Try that again. And it takes a bit. And that's why I like your AWS SageMaker. This would be perfect. It's just some environmental stuff you have to do, and I didn't have the time to really look through it. So summaries are completed. Those are the easy ones, and then the text. But then down here, you do text analyst, and this is where it kind of gets cool. You can kind of see what you're looking at.
So
going.
you try to clean up the data for what algorithm you could use? You could do the sentimental analysis or something?
Yeah,
Or
definitely.
What's the data model?
Yeah, so what I was trying to do here is just get a sense of what the text, the most popular words. And at this time, I was kind of where you guys were at, where I was looking at like 20 Medium posts a day, just trying to figure out the best way to do this. And if I spent more time on it, you can see up here last checkpoint, it's been a while. There's probably a lot cleaner way to do a lot of these codes.
Do you use the Basilica package?
The what?
The one that we just learned about, the Basilica?
No, that's actually a new package, and that's something I want to check out. Like for instance, Spark is depreciated to me from when I learned it. It's completely different now, so I have to relearn Spark now. And you guys are probably better at Spark than me, which is funny. And that's just how it is. But this is normal. The fact that it takes this long, and then I had to upload it. You can see I had it on Dropbox, and it was, just the data set alone was about half a gigabyte.
Yeah, get on that SageMaker, man.
I know. I need to get
It'll make up all the time you have to wait here. You can use that time to get on SageMaker.
Let me see.
You
take
seconds.
It's probably not a bad idea to prototype it locally and then on a small data set.
Also, all the Spark we done was with one computer, one remote computer, one core computer. We haven't done any Spark with like even two computers working together.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why it's important to learn about SageMaker, because if you want to do anything like this towards the end of your capstone, look, even like I'm running on it's AMD, but I'm running on a pretty beast graphics card, and it's still just not as fast as I like.
You want to reconsider sampling your data first, 10,000 or something, just to debug, to clean up all your bugs, and then after you clean up, get a working protocol, then you will load the data, load full load into the data. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, if you had start with a big chunk of data and try to debug, that can get very painful, because things going to break and then going to slow down everything.
Yeah, and here's my password thing. I have a lot of passwords, so I use a special program. It's still running, but I'm just looking at SageMaker now, and here's what I have so far. But what I don't understand completely, I'm trying to learn about S3 right now, because apparently you can put data into S3 and then run that bucket through SageMaker. See, I have a bucket right here, and then you can like upload, I mean, I guess your data, just like your CSV files, create a folder. See, I'm trying to learn it myself, but yeah. And so when these complete sometime soon, it gets easier. But the other thing is, what was I going to show you? What's it called? Yeah, number batch. And this is why I say like NLP is kind of on its own little island, because there's just like so much happening in it, and it's hard to keep up with it. But here's like number batch is open source concept net that actually beats word to vec from Google. And so what I did in this case is I downloaded that, and then I download it locally, and then I just run it, and where is it? Right here. And so it's going to run through number batch eventually. I should have just sampled that for testing case, but there's a lot of cool stuff you can look into and mess with. But I'm just waiting for this to. But have you guys messed with SageMaker at all? Done anything cool besides the Lambda, obviously, assignments?
Only assignments for me.
Like any like insane desktops with like 3 GPUs?
Yeah, I did the with my chess stuff, the transfer learning using the VGGNet of images. Remember when I was using those dog images and like I was taking like art and then combining it? That would take like 5 hours. And then when I used the 8 GPUs and 64 cores, it took about 60 seconds. That would normally take like 10 hours. So,
wow.
Yeah, it made a big difference. But then I'm using just 16 cores, no GPUs. That one took about 1 hour, which was still better than the 6 hours.
Wow. Yeah, I had $350 of Google credits, and Google Cloud Platform is awesome, but like it's so much more expensive than AWS. And they have their own, I don't know if you heard of it, but they have their own graphics card called TPUs. And I put 4 of those TPUs on there, and I would like this, like what's going on right now on my screen will be done in an instant with that. And I blew through that $350 in 2 weeks. And that was during my capstone, but like, it was insane. So yeah, I did create a notebook on SageMaker, but I have not been actively.
So you're saying that the Google
Oh,
platform
here we go.
is as expensive as the SageMaker?
No, more expensive, but I'd say I'd say AWS has more of a learning curve than Google Cloud Platform. Google Cloud Platform is really easy. All right, so you can see the length of the text is, was that 1 million text, and then we're going to, here are the clean reviews. And we're doing, this is where I do the analysis, and that was kind of my job in the group, is kind of do analysis. And you probably, Saranya, or one of the PMs, she was in my group, and she was, me and Saranya worked on the model together. But this is kind of where I started. And so you can see the size of the vocabulary, about 246,000. And so, for instance, with this word count function, I can see how many things of hero is in there. I can say hello, no hello in there, good, a lot of goods in there. So, and so here's number batch. And let me make sure I know I have it downloaded. Number batch. Let me see if it's running. And so that's a problem. So then in this case, what I would have to do is go down here. And I only want English only. Save file. And so if you're running this through AWS, you put it through E3, and then you probably put that up there. But I have pretty fast internet, so it should be, yeah, there we go. And I don't want that. And so open that, and I'm going to upload that to my Jupyter. There we go. And I'm just going to name this. I'm just going to copy this. And then in here, change that. I don't know if the GZ matters. I forgot about that. But we'll see. All right, so that's uploaded. Yeah, so let me get rid of the GZ. I don't think. All right, maybe I need to actually. All right, I changed it to a text file. I'm definitely just like loading up space here on my desktop, uploading multiple files, but I'll fix it after this.
I can't try because your screen is very slow.
Yeah, just to let you guys know.
So you try to change the GC into a text file?
Yeah, it wants to run through a string.
Because the GC is compressions. There's a lot of compression in the file, and it keep your file manageable, and also the wrapping, you package everything in a compressed format. When you change the text, you cannot just change the extension, right? You got to.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what I did, because it was the number. I remember I spent like 20 minutes on this issue, but with the .gz. Can't codec. Yeah, so it has something to do with upgrade the pro. Okay. Well, I can't. I'm not going to upgrade right now, but I think I should upgrade. Anyways, it would run through number batch, and it's not going to change anything if I don't run it through it. It just makes it more accurate. But you kind of run it through this, and you can see that there's some words missing from the vocabulary, and you can see here are the top words of all the reviews. So best, vanilla, I drink, and you can see with the dictionary and these pads, it would take a while to kind of, I'll put this on GitHub and send you to GitHub, but you see a unique number of words, and then you create the matrix, and then this is kind of just goes into the theory of it, but this is where it starts getting kind of not complicated, but advanced. And this is why you always comment your code, is I wanted to show you guys this, and I'm looking at it tonight. And I'm just like, why did I not comment my code? But here is where I made the model. Start making the model, and like these key things up here, like max length, these are important elements. And this is where I actually build the model with TensorFlow. And so I had the model inputs and the encoding layers, and Aaron will teach you all this. And to be honest, if this looks intimidating, a lot of these, I might have changed some of the variable names to match what I was trying to do. But a lot of this is locally available on Medium and a lot of websites that want to teach you how to build a model. And so all these, the model I use for this is called long-term, short-term, or long short-term memory, which is very good for time series data. And the reason I did that is my personal project. That's what I used because I was doing Bitcoin pricing. So that's what I knew I had some experience with. And then this is where you set like your epochs, so your learning rate, your batch size. And eventually, you've probably seen this before, to add a mathemizer. And then this is the big train the model right here. And so it will train it from the best checkpoint and keep going. And so if I was running it through a SageMaker, it would save, best model through S3. And then if you wanted to rerun it, it'd save you some stuff. And then this text to sequence, that's going to help you predict. I don't know if it'll work, but.
You mentioned you got problem with the S3. I kind of wonder, could you do what Ryan has shown us in the class? Basically, we go down to the terminal and you clone your GitHub.
Yeah,
I can show you that. And I'm just going to post this.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm just asking you, what happened if you do that? You just clone the GitHub account.
How to clone it?
And then you basically upload it into the SageMaker and you bypass the bucket.
Yeah, that's actually, yeah. So in that case, go SageMaker, create a new notebook, and then down here, Git repositories.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do clone.
Right.
And then you get the URL. So whatever URL you get from GitHub, I don't have a specific URL. I don't know if I'm just going to put this in for fun. And then you just create a new notebook. And that's how you would do it. And
right. Yeah. This will bypass the S3. If the S3.
Yeah. And so now I have a Git repository set to my SageMaker for number batch. But that's how you would do it. And this just kind of show you NLP, and it is a cool thing. It's annoying to learn sometimes, but it's rewarding. It's actually pretty cool. And that's why I would suggest really exploring AWS and just, I don't know, do cool stuff with it.
Did you guys write a lot of article in your cohort? I mean, in your group? Finish a capstone or major project, do you write an article? or publications?
I know on some of our sprints they were like that was part of the sprint. Like that was one of our. You guys have like part 1 through 4. Like we would have part 4 write a medium post, and our sprint might have been easier, but the medium post was the painful part. Like my medium, if I go to my medium, sign in, I'll show you where my posts are.
Okay. You want to put it into the TS brand now? Because I can't see anything on your screen. It's always blank screen.
Yeah, so I have tips from
Not quite for me.
I have
Really?
tips from a coding boot camp. This is the last one I wrote. And I actually, it's not as good as the other. I can't think of the other publisher, but Data Driven Investor wanted to put this on there. So this was just my take on post Lambda. But I would always encourage you to do that. And so here's my personal project. And then here is the post I made about, it's very short, but it talks about the important parts of RNNs and LSTMs. And then when I did the crypto, I kind of showed how I did that, the API I used, and then like what I found at the end. And as you can see, Bitcoin is so volatile that no algorithm can really predict, where that price is going. And then a conclusion, but not a lot of, I don't like writing, I'll be honest, but I think, if you add enough code and just kind of go for it, it doesn't hurt. It's always like the start of it that's the hardest. And then these are some drafts. You don't need to see, but that's basically it. And this is Anaconda prompt right here. So
Now, I've never even used the Anaconda prompt. I just use our regular prompt.
well, I was having trouble using regular prompt when I was trying to activate my other environment. So, and the meeting was in like 20 minutes, and I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna do it through the GUI. But yeah, that's about it. Anything you got? Any questions or anything about next week or this week you have questions about? I did have on my laptop some stuff about the sprint this week, but I'll share that with you tomorrow because I don't know where my laptop is.
So I don't know what we're even doing next week. Are we going to assign anything to do?
Yeah, next week is going to be important, but it's going to be group based apparently. But like, they're still trying to figure out the logistics of what's going on next week. From what I gathered from the meeting this morning. So tomorrow I should be able to give you kind of a heads up of what to expect from the sprint, which should be nice for you guys. And then hopefully it's something about next week, but that's on Aaron and Ryan. I don't have a part of that. But
Well, you don't have any TensorFlow or any really modern way of doing any real data science.
Yeah, well, it is coming up. I mean, they introduced us to, it's just, the meeting's about to end, but they introduced us to Microsoft Azure, and that was like drag and drop, and it was the worst thing ever. I didn't know why we were doing it, but I figured out later on that